Hey everybody, it's Doc Green, the Road Scholar out here. Riding with Dart for about 3 months, 4 months, 3.5 months. Didn't want to say anything about it at first because I was just coming on with the company, didn't know a lot about it. Want to make sure that I'm not giving out misinformation like some people say it's, you know how people, truck drivers are. We've been out here long enough. For you new guys that are watching my channel, trying to figure out where to go. I know some of you watched some of my oil field things before. Everyone knows now the oil field is pretty much dead. I would not go out there unless you want to starve to death. It's the economy. It's down. The Merrifield, all these other companies are out in the oil fields. Yeah, they're making a little bit of money up in the top areas, and they're not really either. They're backing out of there too. So do not. I personally would not be going to the oil fields. Just what I would not be doing. So if you're not going to the oil fields, you got to figure out what you want to do. There's a lot of different options out here. You could, if some of you guys want to stay local and you live in big city areas or near rail hubs, y'all can go into intermodal. Some of you guys can go into like local dirt hauling, things like that. If you want to put pumps on your trucks and everything, I'm not doing that to my truck because personally, that will destroy your truck. Well, I can't say my truck anymore because I sold all my trucks a couple of years ago. But I decided, I had to go back over the road, and I tried with USXpress. I was coming out of the oil fields. I've been local, doing intermodal for a little over 15 years. Decided I want to get back on the road for a little while, so I tried some big companies. Went with the USXpress first. Big no-no, do not go with USXpress. Some guys was over there. Look, y'all know me. I've worked for quite a few companies. If y'all watch some of my videos, you've never seen me talk bad about a company. You know, I always try to give the best positive spin. I look at both sides. I look at the company's view and the driver's view. I'll be honest with you, USXpress, I've driven for them all. Driven for Jamie Hunt. I can't really say anything bad about Jamie Hunt. It just wouldn't work for me. You know, some guys out there love it. They seem to treat the drivers, you know, the best they can. You know, but they are a turn door company also, and I recognize that. I knew that when I went in. FFE, frozen food, I've done that. Refrigerated trucking, that's when I first started driving. I would have not stuck with it more than the 6 months that I needed to get to go somewhere else. You know, not that FFE treated me bad or anything, but it just didn't pay well enough. And things they didn't have at the time a good safety record, and they didn't care about their safety record, so they keep you running 24 hours a day as long as they get the load, and they wouldn't, I mean, you really weren't getting paid any extra for it, and it was a road to nowhere. So I don't know how they are now. That's been years ago. I mean, almost 20 years ago, over 20 years ago. And I'm sure they had to change a little bit with the ELD logs and stuff. All the companies had to get a little bit tighter. But USXpress, they suck. They suck. Their lease program, every driver I've talked to over there has the same problem. And I know you're going to hear this about a lot of companies. A lot of companies I can say, well, the drivers just got lazy in the last 6 months or whatever. USXpress, I've talked to too many drivers, and I worked as a company driver, and I realized USXpress will screw you. That's period. I don't care what they tell you or anyone else says or anything. You know, I've talked to too many drivers that were with them, that were doing great and everything, and in good moods and everything. The last 6 months, just, you know, they were talking, and they just, and you see it on the YouTube channels too. Too many complaints. I mean, I've only seen maybe 5 or 6 drivers that have been there more than a couple of years, and to be honest with you, those drivers are what we call scared to jump drivers. They got comfortable where they're at and everything, and they don't want to make a move to get more money, so they'll probably make their $30,000-$40,000 a year and be happy for the rest of their life, because that's about all you're going to make if you're lucky enough to make that much with USXpress. That'd be about maxed out from what I've seen. Their lease program, the trucks, first 2 trucks I got into over there broke down on me, and I was a company driver, and these were newer trucks. It takes them 2 weeks to get something fixed. I mean, USXpress just screwed up. And a lot of people go, well, it's a big company, you know what? I work for Dart now. And I know there's some guys that talk bad about Dart, and Dart's a bad plan and whatever. Dart has worked wonderfully for me. I've been here for, like I said, almost 4 months. Now, I know at the beginning it's always great because they get the bonuses and you skip 2 payments, and a fuel tank, and all the fuel, free fuel for the first fueling and all that. So I wanted to make sure I gave it enough time to realize, is this the way it works out every time or how? Dart has kept me running legally. They run me the max hours I can run a day, 11 hours. I mean, my trips, I've run about average from 550 to 650 miles a day. I could probably do a little bit more. I usually cut off about it. I usually do my 10 hours driving and then I shut it off. The reason for that is because, as you well know, you get in the last hour, you need to be looking for a parking space. But also because I'm not going to work any more than 10 hours. I'm not going to drive any more than 10 hours a day. I'm too old for that, so I choose not to. I still pull in about $1,500 a week take home. That's after my truck payment because I'm leasing. I don't lease through Dart. I got the truck. Dart has got with a bank, and Dart, basically tells the bank, yes, he works for us. We're going to contract him for this many years. So the bank works in a deal with you, and you get to lease your truck from the bank. From what and that's what I'm doing on my particular truck. Now there's some trucks you can lease straight from Dart, and but so far I've been out here for, like I said, about 4 months. I do about 7-day breaks, and the reason I do that is because 3 days isn't enough. I'm not going to go home every 2 or 3 weeks, for 3 days, because the first day you're spending resting, last day you're getting ready to go. And I like going places when I'm home with my family. We went to Broken Bow, Oklahoma, and spent a week up there this last time for my birthday. But a lot of drivers say, well, those drivers take a week off, they can't afford to stay in their trucks. I don't know what the problem is. I came home, we paid off all the bills and everything. Now, each time, don't worry about personal finance, I'll get to that one to a different video. But when I came back to work, that's how I test how well a company's lease program works. How long is it going to take me before I'm back in the black? Because I count myself getting back in the truck. The day I get back in the truck, I already owe a week's worth of payments, plus rental fees on the equipment and everything. So how long is it going to take me to make up that full week of payments that I wasn't working and make my current lease payments before I bring home a check? Most companies I've been with in the past and talked to other drivers and everything, it takes them about 2 weeks. The first week is paying for last week's truck payments and and a little bit of the fuel maybe for the first week they're back. The second week is paying for the first week's payments you were back and catching you back up on your things. About halfway through there, you start making a check again. So after about 10 to 12 days, you start making a check. And then, of course, you got your 34-hour break in there and everything. That's usually takes a few extra days in the second week. That's right here from most drivers. And most of you guys know, if y'all been leased, y'all realize that. And that's the way it was with me with Amerifield. It took me a little while to recoup. Of course, out there, I've recouped a lot faster. Money was a lot bigger. USXpress, their drivers that take a week off, takes them 2.5 weeks to get back in the black. So that tells you a little bit about them. Dart took me 4 days. I came back to work 4 days later. I cleared off all my payments from the last one, cleared off all my fuel and payments for the second week that I was back, and got my first check. Now, it was only about $250, $280, but it was, within a week. And then, of course, Friday, that 5th day, I went ahead and I got a check because I fueled up and everything that morning. So my next check was like $180. So I made about almost $400 the very first week I came back on, after taking a week off for time off with Dart and catch up on payments and everything. Now I'm into my second week right now. I'm already up to about, today will be about $1,100, and I still got another 2 days to go. So that lets you know that about $1,500 a week. Anyway, if you do join with Dart Transit, let me please explain this to you. First couple of weeks, you don't make a truck payment, so that's money in your pocket. Now, if I'm averaging about $1,500 the first 2 weeks, I was averaging about a little over $2,000. So I got to put a couple of $1,000s in the bank before I actually had to start making payments. I don't spend that money. I keep that in the bank just in case, emergency or something. They also give you a free. Your first fill up is free. Now I heard they were going to go and give you like half a tank from now on, but I think it's still full free. And so then you hit the road, and here's another good thing about Dart. When you complete a trip, you scan your paperwork in there, you get paid that. If you scan in by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you get paid that night. If not, you get paid the next day, or on weekends, of course, business day, holidays, next business day. I like that because if anything goes wrong with me, or I do end up having a problem with Dart or something, or I feel like I got an attitude, or I feel like they got an attitude and I got to leave, I don't have to worry about how I'm going to get my money from them. You see what I'm saying? Because I got paid daily. I got paid after every trip, so therefore, I know I got my money. Now, they may be able to get me for maybe one check. I doubt it. But it just makes me feel a lot more comfortable that I know that I'm not going to have to go try to track my money down, and when they're going to see my check, and they said they were doing this. I know they took some money out for this, they took some money out for that. They had to fix this on my truck. You're not really going to have that problem here. And besides that, they take out a maintenance fee. Now, you may have to wait you may have to wait a few weeks to get your maintenance fee back, which is, I think it's like 2 or 3 cents a mile, so they take out for, in case it goes, which, by the way, also helps you pay for like your oil changes and stuff like that, so that's all good to go. Now, it may take a few weeks to get that back, but that's not really bothering me as much as my paycheck for that week, you know what I'm saying? So I can wait on my maintenance fee. And they may find some things wrong with the truck they need to fix, and therefore I don't have to worry about, coming out of my pocket getting sued by the bank to fix the truck or whatever. So that's just some things, to look at. Dart keeps me running legally. Now, here's another thing I like about Dart. Let's say I've got a trip that's 900 miles, but I only got, let's say, 10 hours left. So I can only drive about 600 miles, 650, that's 650 miles that day. But it's a 900-mile trip. Dart will let me keep that load during my 34-hour break. They don't do like some companies and say, well, you don't have enough hours, so we're going to shut you down, and you just have to wait. So you lose 10 hours. You lose, basically $600. You lose a truck payment, a fill-up, and another $200 because they won't let you run that last load because you don't have enough hours to complete it without going on a 34-hour break. Dart will tell you, pick up that load, go as far as you can, call us ahead of time when you know you're not going to make it. So what I usually do is I call them, let them know that I'm not going to be able to make it before I ever take the trip. Most of the time they tell me go ahead and take the trip. Sometimes, I've had one time where they told me no and gave me a shorter load to run that I could do within my hours. That was one time. Other than that, they told me, good, you go pick it up, we'll let the customer know. What can you deliver? So I tell them it'll be at least 38, 40 hours because I got to take a 34-hour break. All right, we'll let the customer know. No questions, no yelling at me. Why did you take the load? This, that, none of that. Yeah, okay, we'll let the customer know. So I park a load on my back for 34 hours, rest area, truck stop, whatever. Truck stop, because I'm telling you guys, I'm not sitting in a rest area for 34 hours. I'm going to have a shower. I'm going to sit down and eat somewhere. I'll even catch Uber, go out, see town or whatever when we did have this COVID thing going on. But anyway, so yeah, that's another thing I like about Dart. They're going to max you out on however many hours you need to drive. They're going to make sure that you're not sitting still or you don't wait a day. Another thing I like about them is their pre-plan. So before I get to my destination, they already got me pre-planned on another load. Now, if I don't like that load, I do not have to accept it. Another great thing about Dart. If I don't accept it within the time period, here's what I don't like about it. If I'm not keeping an eye on my computer, or if I don't hear that sound where they tell me I got an email because I keep my volume down low because I just don't like, because I'll be hearing alerts all day. If I don't see a load, they'll take it off of me and give me another one. I can't say really lost a good load because the next one's pretty good miles too. So, but Dart will definitely, they'll give you a load. You got 30, 45 minutes, whatever, to respond to accept it or decline it. If you're asleep at night, they send you one, and you just don't wake up. Well, they take it off of you, replace you with another one. But they're always going to have you pre-planned before you get to your next destination. Now, yesterday they did not. So every once in a while they won't. But as soon as I drop my load, boom, then I'm on another one. It doesn't take them 10, 15 minutes. They got me running. And I think the only reason I don't get pre-planned sometimes is they just don't see that I'm almost done with my load. But like today, I got about 4 or 5 hours to go to get to my destination. About another 2 hours, they'll hit me up with a pre-plan to let me take my next load. So that's always a good thing. So Dart keeps you running. They keeps you running legally. Maximizes your time. Because if you're out here, you don't want to be sitting still. And if you do want to be sitting still, just refuse all loads. Take time off. Tell me, look, I need a break. Whatever. They're not going to argue with you. Anyway, guys. So I know you see some guys talking bad about Dart. Mostly it'll be Guys are on their own trucks. They've had their own authority and before, and now they kind of ran back to, like me, ran back to the OTR thing. They don't like the way it's run. It's mostly older drivers that have been out here a long time, or real young drivers who haven't been out here hardly any time. Guys like me that have been out here more than 20 years, we had a problem readapting to the new ELDs, the safety, and all this. We were so used to running the way we used to run that we kind of fell into a groove. It took me a little bit of time to back up and say, no, this is the new way it is. But as far as I'm concerned, out here, Dart is a great company. People still ask me questions about a Merrifield out in the oil fields. Guys, don't do it. Don't do the oil fields at all right now. My advice. Do what you want to do. My advice is, if you're asking me what kind of money you make in the oil field right now, you can make enough money to go bankrupt real fast. Got your own truck and everything. The days of the $7,000, $8,000 to $10,000 checks, even higher than that, are over. In the oil fields, they're not like that anymore. The oil fields are making about what we're making over the road. So, don't. And that's if you're lucky, because a lot of people aren't even making that as much as the over the road is right now. So, if you got a truck, you can live on about $2,000 to $3,000 a week. You can go intermodal. If you want to do that, if you can make it on, $1,500 to $2,000, well, $1,300 to $2,000 a week, then you could probably do over-the-road lease purchase with someone like Dart or some other reputable company. Guys, if you hear a bunch of warnings and no one's talking good about the company, but if someone just got fired or someone got mad and quit because, well, they told me I had this, and you listen to that YouTube video, that's not the one to listen to. You know what I'm saying? You got to listen to guys that have been out here driving for a while, been through a lot of these programs and everything, and I have. And I'm not going to lie for a company, but I'm not going to lie on a company. So, everybody, that's my thing for Dart. A great company to work for so far. So far this year, I've made about $38,000. I took home about half of that, so I took it home about $19,000 in the last. That's not right. I took home probably about $16,000 in the last 3 months. 16 to 19 in the last 3 months. I had to look on my computer for you. Oh, 18,000. 18,000 in the last 3 months. So it hasn't been bad. You know what I'm saying? I got to pay my taxes, and my own health insurance stuff, but. You know what I'm saying? I get a pretty big raise here in a couple of years as soon as this truck's paid off. Anyway, peace out, guys. Love you. Subscribe, comment. I got questions, just ask. I'll try to get to you as soon as I can.